Bruins looking for their 174th consecutive sellout at TD Garden, but a lot of fans have shown up dressed as empty seats so far. Tonight's starting goalie is brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive today. Scott Clemmensen lifetime against the Bruins, 5-4-2, but he does have a couple of shutouts, one of which was with the Florida Panthers. Tuukka Rask, 27 saves in the win against the Panthers, which was really the first time this season that the Bruins were disappointed with their performance on the ice and felt really fortunate to win a game after having some major lapses. So perhaps they can make the Panthers their bookends to an early season slump. The game is on. The Bruins looking to follow shift after shift to live in the moment.
That's the way they're going to have to play. This Florida team is hungry for points. They're already in a battle with the slow start that they've had and how competitive the division is going to be this year with the abundance of teams and the new realignment here in the National Hockey League. So they're already in jeopardy of falling too far behind.
They are way at the bottom of several statistical categories, notably goal differential in the first and second periods and 5-on-5 play. You combine those three factors, you're just not going to do a lot of winning. But there are no nights off in the National Hockey League. Here's Dmitry Kulikov, cross ice. It's behind Chris Versteeg. He has to make the pivot. Versteeg was a healthy scratch. He said he couldn't remember that happening to him before. McGinley taps it ahead to Krejci. Alexander Barkov, the 18-year-old, takes it away. Now here's Kulikov on the pivot. Long pass off Barkov's backhand. Barkov, a dual citizen of Finland and Russia. His dad made his living as a professional hockey player. Hamilton trying to sneak away pass for McGinley. Doesn't work, but it's not icing. Now here comes Barkov working it out. He's got Jesse Winchester with him. Winchester scored a hustle goal against the Bruins down in Sunrise earlier this season. Eric Goodbranson fires it off Krejci's stick. It hits the strings on the way back from the end boards, and Torrey Krug has possession. Florida sets up its neutral zone coverage. Just one man forward of the blue line, and that's Winchester. So Krug takes a good look and then fires it up the middle. Does not connect with Riley Smith. Clemmensen has to hang on to it. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Brick the other night against the Dallas Stars. This is by line. The Bergeron line had 13 shots on goal, 7 by Patrice Bergeron. But look at the Campbell line at the bottom. The Merlot line, 0 shots on goal, and they lost a lot of shifts to their counterparts.
Yeah, and then minutes were down as a result. The later they get in the hockey game, the ice time goes down when you're not getting the job done. That's what's going to happen, no matter which line it is.
Jonathan Huberdeau, the saucer pass to Nick Bjugstad. Now it comes all the way back toward Matt Gilroy, but he can't keep it inside the blue line. Gilroy on the pivot, and he pounds it all the way in past Rask. Torrey Krug indirect. McQuaid lifts the skate so it scoots around for Smith. He gives it away at his own blue line to Gomez. Gomez's shot muffled by McQuaid's stick. Krug gets position on Gomez. Soderberg back to help out. Barch, who returns after being scratched 7 of the last 8 games. Now here's Campbell sending it forward to the goal line to Gomez to Kopecky, and it goes over the top on the deflection. Florida buzzing around the Boston goal. Kopecky in the corner, sends it right past the post through the crease. Campbell cocks and fires, and a glove save by Tuukka Rask.
Well, this pressure, Jack, is the result of a missed call by the linesman. Sure looked like it was offside in real time. Let's see if we can get the verification from the replay. Smith trying to go up the middle. He already got one Panther in the zone. The steal by Gomez clearly offside. And now Florida's got all kinds of momentum because of the turnover, but it's the missed call. Neither linesman on the blue line to make the call. They were both in the middle of the ice in center ice.
That said, is that an advisable pass to attempt at this juncture of the game?
Well, we've already seen Dougie Hamilton throw one away from behind the net, just kind of lobbed it up to the hash marks on the right wing boards. That was a turnover. And then Smith's trying to go through the middle. You got to be 100% sure if you're going to make that pass.
Louis Erickson Taps the backhand into the center circle. Marchand holds his ground, turns and whacks it into the zone for Bergeron. A hard backhand off Marchand's skate. Boychuk keeps the puck on the line. It's onside. Florida clears and Chara will chase it down. Zdeno Chara -1. A little bit surprising going into game number 15. Chara up into the neutral zone. Erickson redirects it, rattles around, no icing. Tom Gilbert, 4 years at the University of Wisconsin. Risks it out of the zone past Brian Campbell, who, yeah, he's a left defenseman, but when he was up on the right wing, he kind of plays rover. He goes anywhere he wants.
Makes him hard to cover.
Yeah, like a dog without a leash law.
But easy to beat.
Yep. Gilbert the diagonal. Krejci in perfect position to knock it down. It's a turnover, but Florida gets good numbers back. Krejci has it. Ginla middle, goes right to goal. Can't get it through Gilbert, the defenseman, making the block. Here's Krejci, stick handling, finding some room along the board. Seidenberg quickly to Hamilton. Hamilton holds, goes past the hash marks, back through Lucic to Seidenberg. Krejci calling for the puck, and a save by Clemenson on the doorstep. Dougie Hamilton doing some deflecting work. Here's Hamilton with a one-timer, and it sizzles wide. Lucic taps to Seidenberg. He cracks it over to Hamilton. Hamilton down the wall. Krejci rattles around in his skates, but he maintains possession. Upshaw gets a stick on the saucer pass from Krejci and sends it out to Versteeg, who throws it in. Florida changes.
And all that pressure because David Krejci just stayed with the puck after the steal in the neutral zone. Initially didn't get the shot that he wanted, but he stayed with the puck behind the goal line and made something happen.
Kelly whips the puck cross ice. Winchester tries to throw it back in the middle. Hamilton steers it to the corner. Kelly gets cracked upstairs, and he goes down. Winchester looked as if he lifted the elbow and got Kelly right in the head.
Yeah, we had a pretty good angle of it right here from where we watched the hockey game, and Kelly goes below the goal line to help out his D pair for possession of the puck, and Winchester's going to come from the right side, and he's going to get him up high with a nice elbow to the jaw. A discussion going on right now between the four officials. There should be some kind of penalty.
I don't see it. I don't see a signal.
Well, they're making a beeline over to the Florida bench, and I thought this would be an explanation as to why now they're going to call a penalty. I could be wrong.
Referee talking to Kevin Dineen is Tom Cowell. Now they're showing the replay on the HDX scoreboard at center ice.
And you're right, there probably will not be a call. They're lined up for a face-off in the Bruins defensive end. You know, the referees had a missed call late in the hockey game the other night. The game the Bruins lost to Dallas in the shootout. Should have been a delay of game penalty in the final minutes of that hockey game. That was missed by all four officials. Picking up right where we left off.
Soderberg hits tape to Bergeron. Bergeron bounces one in on Clemenson. Smith jamming away. The puck squiggles across the goal mouth, and Weaver can't make the clear. Winchester, who just threw that elbow into Kelly, coming cross ice. Kulikov one-hands it into the neutral zone, and here we go. Campbell squaring off with Jesse Winchester. A little bit of frontier justice. The referees won't call it, so Gregory Campbell will. Campbell doesn't win a lot of fights, but he always does the right thing. Right in front of the Florida bench. Winchester getting a couple of rights in. Campbell in a compromised position, but staying tough. And the linesmen step in.
Well, they showed the replay of the hit by Winchester on Kelly on the HDX. And you know the Bruin bench was paying attention to it if they didn't see it live. And that's a perfect way to describe it, Jack. Frontier justice, because Campbell comes out on a line he normally doesn't play with. And I think he does a good enough job to engage Winchester that there's no instigator on the play.
Second fighting major of the year for Gregory Campbell, and the first for Jesse Winchester. They were teammates on Kelly was a teammate of Jesse Winchester in Ottawa, of course, and he returns to the ice.
Florida penalty number 17, Jesse Winchester. Boston penalty number 11, Gregory Campbell. 5 minutes each fighting. Time of the penalties,
So
5 minutes
5 for
40
fighting
seconds.
each.
Winchester.
Overall has a little bit of space on McQuaid's side of the ice. He's got Gilroy, the defenseman, jumping up. The shot off Krug's legs. Rebound Kopecky, and Rask is square to the shot. Classic Tuukka Rask, tracking a bouncing puck with utter calm. so he was square to the shot in a dangerous situation.
It's a good thing he tracked it because the Bruins on the back check did not.
Erik Gudbranson, lifetime minus 50 and a team worst minus 9 for Florida this season. It has been a riddle he has not been able to solve yet in his career in the NHL. Here is Gudbranson. Leaves it in the corner for Mathias, who's got a tremendous work rate. Marcel Goc got an instigator in his first fighting major in the NHL a couple of nights ago. Boychuk gets the tap return from Chara and starts out north and south. Now up to the attacking line. Marchand gets a piece of the puck. Ryan Campbell takes it away. Gilbert rattles the puck all the way to the Boston end. Now Boychuk skates back after it with Goc, the front forechecker. Chara has Marchand straight ahead. Marchand, excuse me. That is how he wants it pronounced. It's going to take a while. Here's Scotty Upshall. The shot saved by Rask. 13:06. 0-0 in the first period, and this is why. Because Tuukka Rask knows where it's coming from.
Big defense into offense. The Bruins' top offensive line so far this year. They do that in the neutral zone. Body position, stick position by David Krejci. He's able to stay with the play. And then the mobility of the defense, particularly the young guys. And it's been contagious with the veterans. Dougie Hamilton rotating, staying on the offense, almost like a forward, able to get a redirect right at the top of the crease.
Alexander Barkov against David Krejci on the faceoff. Upshall and Versteeg, the wings for Barkov. Lucic taps the puck to the end board. Seidenberg hacks it around. Here's Versteeg coming off the wall, the shot, and Rask holds the short side post. Iginla snaps the pass to Krejci, but here's Upshall on the steal. Upshall to the far side, holds it in the seam, whips it toward goal, and Rask had to extend after the puck. Kolyakov spins off the hit to send it around the boards. Lucic holds, comes cross ice for Seidenberg. He lugs it up into the red line. Off the corner boards all the way around for Krejci. Krejci sidesteps Upshall's hit. Lucic goes in and clears out Weaver, and that wins the puck for Boston. Hamilton lobs it off the dasher in the corner. Lucic unopposed to Seidenberg. One times it toward goal. Iginla with the big reach, the sharp pivot. Lucic in front and just wide. Magnificent move by Iginla. Iginla goes indirect. Billiard shot past Lucic. Krejci to Lucic at the dot. Back to Hamilton across to Seidenberg. And he heals the drive on the one-timer. Kolyakov swivels it back of his own goal. This is a strong shift from the Krejci line. Something the Bruins are accustomed to. Krejci tips it toward goal and Clemenson scoops it up. And Lucic and Weaver battling over real estate, and it's Iginla, excuse me. And if you're going to get your quarters down, you probably are well advised to put 2 bits on number 12.
Well, it started with number 12, that quick little move in the corner, look away over the left shoulder, spin off the right shoulder, and then a nice short little pass. Get an idea of the strength of Milan Lucic being double teamed, still able to get a piece of the blade on it. Just missed short side. The Bruins stay with possession. They set up Seidenberg for a one-timer, and I think he took his eye off at the last second. That's generally what happens when you heel a puck, because the pass wasn't too hard or too fast in order to one-time it the way you'd like to.
Now the thing that people around the team have been talking about, to follow one good shift with another. It's the Kelly line with Riley Smith and Carl Soderberg. The defensive pair is Chara and Boychuk. Gudbranson muscles the puck to Mathias. He rips it around to the near side. Goc absorbs the hit from Boychuk, who goes down. Chara gets his stick caught on the boards, and Mathias has it, whips it cross ice. Gilroy, and a tip from Soderberg, who reads it well, getting it away from Goc. Gudbranson rides off Soderberg. Here's Fleischmann back over the Boston line with Mathias going toward goal. Fleischmann closes, goes through the seam, brings it back to Gudbranson. He chips it forward. The turnaround drive from Mathias, and it goes off high glass. All the way back to Gilroy. Along the line for Gudbranson. Risks it toward goal, and a save by Rask. Chara and Goc in the corner. So the Bruins were not able to answer one good shift with another as Florida sets up camp in Tuukka Rask's end of the ice. But here comes Riley Smith up over the red line, working 1-on-3. The Bruins peel off for a change. So it's back to the Krejci line, hoping that they can do what they just did moments ago. Rask has to glove the puck off the glass. It's ruled icing. Want to send out a special hello and get well to Bill Sturrock, big Bruins fan and a close follower of the Bees on NESN, who's watching from Dover, New Hampshire. And he's up against an opponent that simply is not playing fair, but he's keeping his sense of humor and battling as hard as he can. So, Bill, we're thinking of you. I hope you have a good night. And thanks for joining us. Krejci skating the extra shift as Gregory Campbell continues to serve his 5-minute major for fighting, flanked by Paille and Thornton. Thornton goes in, tries to knock some bodies loose, gets the puck, the backhand, and a stop by Clemenson. Now, if they're going to give him a shot on goal, if it was in the framework of the goal, that'd be the first shot on goal for Thornton and company in the last game and a half.
Well, they get the benefit of having Krejci in the middle as far as the offense goes with this shift. Krejci in pursuit on the forecheck. Thornton's going to read and react. Paille's rotating in the middle of the ice to be the third man high, and that allows Thornton to come off the wall. He knew he was running out of time and space. He could not pull that puck to a forehand, so let that backhand go from the dot.
They do credit Thornton with a shot on goal. Shots are 4-3 for Florida right now, about midway through the first period. Kris Versteeg wants a Boston property. In front of the Zamboni doors, Scotty Upshall leaves it. Marchand is right on it, turns right in front of Tuukka Rask. He's got Bergeron on the right. It's off Bergeron's skate. Tough pass to handle. Kulikov takes it away. D to D to Mike Weaver. Up to Upshall, forward to the red line. Rask can't control it with the paddle. He wings it through the corner. Marchand can't get the puck cleanly past Barch. Barch is a tough customer, but Marchand flips him. Now it's Versteeg giving it away to Marchand. Marchand ahead to Louis Eriksson. The one-touch backhand to Marchand. He spins it over to Bergeron. Bergeron rakes one off the high glass. Kopecky. Now Kulikov. Scott Gomez, who still loves to rush the puck, pulls up short at the red line, throws it ahead of Barch. Chara gives it to Lucic coming deep. Boychuk ahead for Krejci. And Brian Campbell bounces it in front of the Bruins bench. Chara again, D to D to Boychuk. He's got Krejci up the boards. Boychuk takes the space, rambles right down the right wing, goes around Brian Campbell. Takes the hit from Gilbert in the corner. Tries to kick the puck loose to Iginla. He does. Iginla turns. Mathias wrapping up Iginla, but Iginla muscles loose, fires it off the apron of the goal, and it went right where he wanted it to, right next to the post, but the Bruins couldn't capitalize. Here's Kopecky. Stick handles into the zone with Mathias, middle of the trailers. Campbell back to Kopecky, and a stop in front by Rask. The Bruins scrambling a little bit, and Florida setting up a nice triangle with the trailer on the rush. Marcel Gottsch to the top of the circle, fires well wide on the stick side. The long carry. Matt Gilroy can't keep it in the attacking zone. And it comes all the way back to Clemens.
That was a well-executed play by Florida on the attack, and once again able to find that trailer on the weak side. I might have hit some bodies in front before it got to Rask.
Yeah, here's Kelly closing in the slot. The shot deflects and floats into the corner. Now Huberdeau locks up with Kelly. Smith taps back toward the point, but Versteeg takes the puck. Versteeg gains the line, swivels it to Gilroy. The shot, McQuaid tips it up and over the bar. Versteeg back to Goodbranson. That doesn't get through. Goodbranson golfs it down the wing. Kelly flips it ahead. Here's Riley Smith. The shot saved by Clemenson. Smith was behind Goodbranson, who just somehow lost track of him. Marchand. Goodbranson caves him in, gives him a shove, but Marchand's right back up to his skates. Back to Hamilton. Whips it along the blue line. Here's Eriksson fresh off the bench. The shift against Versteeg. Bergeron with the big reach to get it to Marchand. Marchand trickles it back to Hamilton. Loads up the drive. Tip Bergeron. They rule control by the goalie.
It couldn't have been any more lively a rebound.
7:08 to go first period. David Krejci making the block in front. And the Bruins dodge a bullet.
Panthers probably wish anyone but Tuukka Rask was in net tonight for the Bruins. Rask holds an 8-1-0 record against the Panthers with 3 shutouts. He's also got a sub-1 save percentage and goals against average against the Panthers. Rask is tonight's key matchup, and it's brought to you by Acura. Meet the extremely new 2014 MDX at Acura.com/MDX.
Jamie, thank you. Rask has made the saves, and he's done it again tonight. But taking a longer view, it's been because the Bruins have been a vastly superior 5-on-5 team than Florida. Bergeron out near the blue line, trickles it into the circle. Eriksson does a nice job holding his space. Marchand on the doorstep. Bergeron jams, and Clemenson finds the puck in the scramble.
Pretty good stick-to-itiveness by this group. That puck's up for grabs just outside the tops of the circle. The pitch down by Boychuk. Bergeron rotates into that third slot position, third man high position. A quick turnaround by Eriksson, the follow-up by Marchand. That's pretty good pressure.
Louis Eriksson is playing his 10th game for the Bruins. He has yet to have a minus game for Boston. It's offside. And the face-off in front of the Boston bench.
Don't miss any of the excitement of the black and gold in November. Limited tickets and executive suite rentals are available to see the Bruins take the ice against the Toronto Maple Leafs this Saturday, or the Tampa Bay Lightning this Monday. To purchase tickets or rent a suite, visit BostonBruins.com.
5-on-5 this season. The Bruins' goal differential is 7th best in the league to date at +9. Florida is number 26 in the NHL at -11. But as Jim Bouton so famously said, tell your statistics to shut up. It just doesn't matter at the moment. It's all about this shift for the Bruins. Iginla pulls up short, maintains possession against Upshall, but Barkov is there to whack the puck ahead. Rask comes out of his goal to send it to Krejci. Back to Seidenberg. He's got Lucic left, goes against the grain to Krejci. It bounces past him and Brian Campbell. Gilbert the quick shift, but Iginla's there on the forecheck. Lucic centering pass back to Hamilton, the rocket. And Clemenson off his line. Gilbert swivels the puck to Campbell. Campbell, long pass ahead, does not connect for Versteeg. Rask will have to play it, but he muffs it in the corner. Here's Versteeg, quick stick handling to control against Seidenberg. Saucers it to Bjugstad, in front to Upshall, back to Bjugstad, and we're going to get a call here. Dougie Hamilton going to the box. Looks as if the Bruins are going to be shorthanded when the game resumes.
Florida looking for a little quick strike offense. The Bruins in a pinching situation. Then a Seidenberg down along the wall. There's Milan Lucic as well. David Krejci is now the high guy. He's protecting for Dennis Seidenberg. But as this play develops, you're going to see Versteeg take off in this area. And Krejci's going to move across, thinking Seidenberg's going to be back in time. Well, he's not. And a huge lane opens up. Potential breakaway, but this aerial pass does not land in time for Versteeg, or he's been all alone with Rask.
Bergeron wins the faceoff, taps the puck back to Boychuk, hard wrist off the glass. Brick, it's worth pointing out that since being porous and giving up 5 consecutive power play goals on penalty kills, the Bruins have killed off 11 straight, and their opponents have had it in the attacking zone just 54% of the time. That says that the Bruins are winning a lot of draws and they're making a lot of clears.
Well, I think the coaching staff got the penalty killer's attention, not just by the numbers, but the decision-making that they had been employing when trying to kill a penalty. We talk about it all the time. It's commitment, it's sacrifice, the willingness to get the job done, the belief that you want to be a penalty killer. You take huge pride in it, but it's decision-making. They're making better decisions now.
Chara goes through Gotch to get the puck, but he can't clear it. Kolyakov, the hard backhand. Boychuk takes it in the body while locked up with Fleischmann on the boards. Kelly kicks it to Chara, and he scoops it out through center.
Good board battle in tandem on the right side of the puck, but winning the battle most important.
Campbell, a brilliant skater across the spoke B, drops it off. Barkov to Fleischmann, tries to give and go, and Boychuk gets his skates in the way. Campbell swivels it back. Barkov gives it to Upshall on the off wing. Bergeron limits his space. Versteeg now swoops in, gives it off to Barkov. Gilroy's one-timer. Eriksson deflects it out of the slot. Chara up ahead to Bergeron. He carries into the neutral zone with Upshall on his back. Upshaw caves in Bergeron, but he trickles it ahead.
A good shot block by Louis Eriksson. Again, body position, stick position, key to killing penalties.
Gilroy winds it out of his own end. Fires it in on Rask. He shoves it over to Seidenberg, who hammers it and hits the referee. Florida is getting all kinds of help tonight. Campbell backhands it off the glass. Goodbranson chops it off the boards. It bounces down to Seidenberg, back of Rask, all the way around for Marchand. Marchand battling against Gilroy. The stick comes up on Gilroy. Marchand tries to get up but can't get to the puck. Goodbranson holds and draws Campbell. Now hard through the seam, back to Barkov, to Gilroy. It deflects and loops past the post. Seidenberg goes hard into Versteeg. McQuaid down on his belly with Upshaw nearby. Versteeg in the corner. Marchand working up the boards. Just 2 shots on goal during the power play, and Rask had a pretty good view of them.
Great effort by the penalty killers as a group. That was hard work. See if you can build some momentum off that quality penalty kill.
Both of the shots came from outside the blue line, and Tuukka Rask's save percentage on those is beyond .999. A minute and 10 seconds in the zone, so similar to that 54% we were talking about. Here's Gomez across the goal mouth, but Gilbert, the defenseman, can't extend the stick for the redirection. Mathias rotating back to the point, off the end boards. Gomez and Krug. Krug gets there first, slides it through the seam to Krejci, right in front of the goal to Boychuk. Ahead to Iginla, back to Krejci, but Gilbert's there at the Florida line.
Florida's had some pretty good effort on their back check. Forwards doing a nice job coming back through the middle, limiting Boston with any kind of rhythm or speed through center ice.
Final 3 minutes of the opening period. Shots on goal are 8-7 in favor of the Panthers. Mike Weaver goes indirect up the wall. Winchester sends the puck to the corner. Bjugstad quickly on it, flips to Winchester, bouncing puck. Kelly caves him in, tosses the backhand off the kick plate behind Rask. Boychuk one-hands it to Chara. He's got Kelly far side. Chara draws to. Kelly comes wing to Riley Smith. He's got Soderberg nearby, and the referees are going to call a high stick.
That was on Kyle Soderberg in the middle of the ice, trying to generate some speed to get away from Goodbranson. And as he's trying to pick him up and put him down, his stick comes up and catches the Florida defenseman in the face. Bruins had a quality breakout going, but that stick rides up a little high. The sell job by the Florida D. Bruins shorthanded. I'm not in the business of beating up officials, Jack, but I'm telling you.
Everybody has bad nights, and they're having one.
Well, they missed that offside, which led to pressure when Gomez made the steal. I mean, that was offside by about 3 feet. The elbow to the jaw, Kelly. They even discussed it and decided there was no penalty. And then the Hamilton shot with a big rebound out in the slot. The play got blown down.
2 minutes for high sticking. Campbell nearly gives it away to Bergeron. Now Marchand ahead to Bergeron. Fleischmann off the boards, back to Kulikov. Gotch, Huberdeau, and Fleischmann up front. Kulikov and Campbell are the point men. McQuaid takes a chop at the puck, but it won't cooperate with him. Chara finds it, turns, and scales it all the way in on Clemency. Minute and a half to go on Soderberg's high sticking penalty. Campbell from the center dot. Flies it all the way around. Fleischmann and Campbell in a battle on the boards. Campbell fishes it out of there. Gotch flattens the puck for Kulikov. The saucer pass to Fleischmann. Fleischmann spins it back to Kulikov. He's got Campbell on the right side. Gives to Fleischmann on the left. Back to Kulikov. He draws Gregory Campbell. Throws it in front with the screen from Gotch. But Rask sees it and Chara clears it.
Yeah, good battle by Chara. Positioned well. Never took his eye off the puck while he dealt with the traffic in front. Made a simple block and an easy clear.
Come back.
Tick, 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 tick on the penalty, and now Goodbranson starts to bring it out. He's a big boy. 6'4", and he fires it all the way in around the boards. Barkov, the rookie. Goodbranson to Barkov. Lively puck. Eriksson battles for it. Goodbranson finds Gilroy to the top of the circle. It's off Kelly's skate. Final minute of the first period, a 0-0 game between Florida and the Bruins. Eriksson continues to battle. Seidenberg pokes it loose. Gilroy takes it off the boards. Seidenberg tries to get around the net. Barkov doesn't get his shoulders over the puck, and Seidenberg bodies it away. Eriksson to Kelly. He strokes it up ice, and that'll kill off Soderberg's penalty 0 shots on goal, and 0 for 2 on the power play for Florida, which is now 1 for 18 in its last 6+ games. 108 in the attacking zone. So again, the Bruins right around that mark we were talking about earlier. Limiting their opponents to just over 50% of attacking zone time with the power play. McQuaid staples Gomez to the sideboards. Kopecky has to adjust his helmet after Lucic drills him into the wall. And the siren sounds.
The last minute of play in the first period was brought to you by
What do you think?
A couple of good penalty kills. I like that from the Bruins, but I think overall in the first 20 minutes, Florida had the better of the skating game. A little quicker to the puck. I don't know if they had a decided advantage in this one, but they were playing a quicker game. I see the Bruins bring a little bit more urgency to their game, and once they do that, I think their execution will be a little bit more accurate.
Dale, once again, we saw the Krejci line skating well, but other lines not able to answer with succeeding successful shifts. Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Subaru of New England, by Ace Ticket, by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com, by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin', by your New England Ford dealers, and by K-Bear, your wings throughout New England. Alongside Andy Brickley with Jamie Erdahl at Ice Level and our NESN production team, I'm Jack Edwards. If you're just joining us to start the second period, frankly, you haven't missed a whole heck of a lot. It was a kind of a meh first period for the Bees, and they hope to follow good shift after good shift and establish a little continuity in finding their identity once again in the second. The twisted but true fact of the game: tonight's teams include 7 players and a head coach that have won a total of 17 NHL awards. Tim Thomas, of course, the Vezina twice in 2009 and 2011. The Conn Smythe for being playoff MVP. The Jennings for the lowest goals against average. Brian Campbell in 2012 became the first defenseman in the NHL to win the Lady Byng Sportsmanship Award in 58 years. Jonathan Huberdeau won the Rookie of the Year Calder Trophy in 2013. Scott Gomez in the year 2000. And of course for the Bruins, Jerome McGinley, fabulous year in 2002, winning the Art Ross in the what's now called the Ted Lindsay Award, which was then called the Pearson Award. Also was the Humanitarian of the Year in 2004, the King Clancy Memorial Award. Zdeno Chara, 2009 Norris Award as the best defenseman in the NHL. He's also won the Messier Leadership Award. Patrice Bergeron, the Selke. Claude Julien, the Jack Adams is the Coach of the Year. First period summary brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. But the awards are produced by shift after shift consistency and performance at a high level. And that's what the Bruins need to provide more of here in the second period. Thomas Fleischmann rattles it through some traffic. Mathias sees pressure from behind. We're going to get a penalty coming here against the Bruins. Maybe it was a stick parallel to the ice. Sean Mathias holds high slot off Gotch's skates. Eriksson grabs the puck, and here comes the hooking call against Boston just 29 seconds into the second.
Make sure you get all those hooks. Make sure you call all those. Bruins on the back check. Guilty of some stick work to be shorthanded again. You heard Brad Marchand talk about good things in that first period. We killed a couple penalties, but we had a slow start. We got to pick our game up, but it's not going to start with the first shift here in the second period because they're going to be shorthanded again.
Krejci wins the face-off. Chara can't muscle it out of the zone. Here's Campbell to the middle of the blue line. Now Versteeg, a shooter, fires it, but he can't get it through the block. Versteeg holds on the half boards. Campbell, good stick position, denying the cross-ice pass. Now Brian Campbell, Dmitry Kolyakov sizzles it back to Campbell. Kolyakov's drive, and Campbell makes the block. That one really stung. It caves him in. Campbell's hurting out there, but he continues to move the legs. Goes for a spill. Barkov A-framing for a little bit of space. Kolyakov gets knocked down on Krejci's physical pressure. Brian Campbell's driving a glove save by Tuukka Rask. That was mano a mano as Campbell tried to pick the top corner, and Rask was too good.
He makes the spectacular saves look pretty easy, doesn't he? Bruins think they're going to clear their zone. They attack along the wall. This is the first shot blocked by Gregory Campbell. And then after a puck battle along the wall, it leads to Brian Campbell coming in inside the tops of the circle, and he can bring it. That puck's got a lot on it. Rask out to challenge, top of the crease. Snares it like it was a 75-mile-an-hour fastball.
What do you think the composite stick has done for the average speed of the slap shot in the NHL?
Oh, it's increased it dramatically.
Like, what, 10, 12, 15 miles an hour per man?
I don't know what number I'd put on it, but
the shaft is so whippy.
That's all well and good, and it makes the average shooter shoot the puck a lot hotter in general across the board. What I don't like about it is how often the puck is on edge as a result of puck making contact with the blade of the stick.
Yeah,
you got to have extra special hands to really soften it.
Yeah, there's so much energy in those sticks, and as Brick has spoken about earlier, you don't have as much feel in the composite stick as you do from the fibers of the wood. I was working on a deck this summer with a buddy, and he offered me a composite hammer. And I said, "You don't watch a lot of hockey, do you?" Give me that wood. Fleischmann at the blue line. The pass does not connect with Gotch. Seidenberg trying to hack it past Huberdeau on the end boards. Huberdeau gets sandwiched between Seidenberg and McQuaid. Fleischmann hard off the boards. Goodbranson spins it for Gilroy. Gilroy wrists it toward goal, and Huberdeau tips it over Rask. Eriksson lifts the backhand out into the neutral zone. Kelly flattens the puck and then snaps it in around through the corner. Less than 15 seconds to go in Bergeron's penalty. Matt Gilroy, BU product, Hobey Baker Award winner as the best player in college hockey, sending it into the Boston zone. Just one shot on goal for Florida, so 3 on its 3 power plays. Upshaw goes right to the net, but Rask comes off his line. Bergeron gets tripped from behind, and what do you know? The Bruins are going to get a power play. This is sarcasm from 17,000 people. Listen.
Well, Upshaw gets the opportunity, explodes off the near boards to get to that loose puck after the Bruins get this penalty killed. He attacks Rask. Rask able to hold his ground, and now the puck goes to the far corner. Bergeron's going to get there first. And the blade of the stick of Upshaw makes contact with the blade of the skate of Bergeron, and the Bruins get a power play opportunity.
Bruins power play brought to you by Mazda. Chara will be the front man. Krejci and Lucic also out on the ice. Jerome McGinley and Torrey Krug, the point men. McGinley into the corner for Chara. He moves back to the goal, draws Weaver. Here's Lucic winning the puck battle, turns and fires, and a blocker saved by Clemenson. McGinley nudges to Chara. Chara holds the puck. McGinley on the doorstep, fishing for it. Kopecky sends the puck forward, and Krejci is back to retrieve. When tied and with the power play, the Bruins are 2 for 13 this season. Lucic gains the line, gives off to Chara, down the half boards with Gotch hacking away at his legs. Iginla back to Krejci, fakes the shot. Iginla's a sniper. Here's Krejci's drive with Chara screening. Iginla taps the backhand, but Weaver snares it and risks it the length of the rink.
Yeah, Weaver didn't go for that little pump fake initially by Iginla, and he read pass. It was a good read.
Torrey Krug gives to Lucic. Lucic flips it off the boards. Campbell and Iginla. Iginla wraps them up. Here's Chara in the corner. The short pass to Lucic. Tosses the backhand to Krug. Quickly across to Krejci. Back out to Krug. On the move. The wrist shot saved by Clemenson.
Well, when the Bruins attack through the neutral zone with the man advantage, they try to attack through the middle and then kick the puck wide. Lucic's able to get it to Chara. Now they have easy entry. And then again, Lucic positions himself right at the dot. It's a perfect spot to go. It's a short little 8-foot pass. Now it's possession. You get into your rotation. It's a good wrist shot by Krug on the exchange with Krejci, with Chara having time to get to the front of the net.
Gilbert back of his own goal. Eriksson attacks the puck. Here's Goodbranson, and Bergeron snaps it away from him. Back to Hamilton along the line. Riley Smith returns it to Hamilton. He's got Eriksson far side. Eriksson rotating high circle. Man in the high slot is Bergeron. Soderberg to Hamilton to Riley Smith. The drive goes off Bergeron. Skates Soderberg quickly on it, unopposed. Comes off the board, sizzles the pass to Smith, back to Hamilton. Hamilton has Gotch in his face, now wrists it on Clemenson, who makes the glove stop with 17 seconds to go in the power play.
A little body language from Bergeron saying it wasn't really the play he was looking for, the wrist shot. They didn't have double barrel action in front of the net. Bergeron was out high by the hash mark, so probably not the best choice of shot to take. But the Bruins are moving the puck quickly with confidence with both units.
Gotch wins the faceoff away from Bergeron. Weaver around the boards and out. Louis Eriksson, a little stutter step. Fleischmann knocks it down. Smith plays the body. Eriksson takes the puck. Polyakov off Gregory Campbell's stick. 3 shots on goal during the Boston power play. 126 spent in the attacking zone for the Bruins. Rask scrapes the puck around through the corner. Riley Smith on it, scoops it out end over end. Polyakov backing to the dot. Soderberg gloves it down. Goes 1 against 2. Fleischmann taps it back to Weaver. He rattles it off the boards. Now it's Fleischmann 3-on-3 over the line, but it's offside.
Tonight, following Bruins coverage, catch up with Adam Peller and Leah Hextall for Nessa Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. They'll have more on the Panthers and Bruins. Take a closer look at Patriots running back Stephen Ridley and more. Check it out tonight after post-game coverage.
Chris Kelly, Carl Soderberg, and Brad Marchand. Sorry. It's going to be a while, folks. Yeah, the Kangaroo Court Kitty is just going to explode in size. We're going to end up renting a plane or chartering a plane to Vegas for this party at the end of the year.
Well, the IRS wants a dispersal every couple of months, so we're going to have to spend it somewhere.
Boychuk plasters down Barkov. Here's Marchand on the wing. Draws the puck back at the hash mark. Gets caved in on Goodbranson's check. That's what Goodbranson does best. Big physical player. Kelly bangs Gilbert in the corner. And the puck bounces up and out of play.
You go back to the 3 shots the Bruins had on that power play, Jack. The last one, that wrist shot by Hamilton. Clemenson's got a good look at it. Bergeron was the only one that had a chance for a redirect, but he was out by the hash mark. The shot by Krug. Chara was trying to get to the front, but he didn't really get directly in front of Clemenson, so Clemenson got good eyes on that one as well.
Gomez and Gregory Campbell on the faceoff. Campbell wins it. Krug. Paille, McQuaid's shot knocked down before it gets to the goal. Then Barch scoops the puck over the dasher into the Boston bench. And they're saying it's going to be outside the line for the faceoff. Claude Julien turned a color of purple on that missed call for the delay of game late in the game against Dallas that rarely has been seen. Very frustrating night for him. Sean Thornton's wrist shot with Daniel Paille screening, and Clemenson waves at it. Gomez in front of his own goal. Now Gilbert drops it back to Gomez. He has Paille on the reach, and Paille gets it back from Gregory Campbell. Stick handles around Gomez. Thornton comes barreling through and knocks everything loose. The puck, the stick, the goal off both pegs. You can't fault Sean Thornton for the effort tonight. Of course, it's not tripping. Thornton never gets tripped. Presented by Amica Insurance. Great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance.
Well, the Bruins are playing their style of hockey. They take away the middle of the ice on the back check. There's Thornton, and then they pressure the puck. And when this puck gets dropped on a drop pass from Gilbert, for Gomez. Stop on the puck. That's a heads-up play by Danny Paille. Body position, stick position. Phrases you hear a lot. And then the counterattack. And Sean Thornton trying to find that puck at his feet. He gets inside position on Kopecky. And then a little stick work by Campbell, but no penalty call.
Dougie Hamilton snaps one on Clemenson, and he makes the stop. Right now, scoring goals for the Bruins is like pulling teeth, and I'm not talking about like Pascal Dupuis last week, where he was just pulling it off a permanent stud because it was used equipment to begin with. But I mean, this is like getting in there with the old pliers and pulling out a real one. Kind of painful for the Bruins right now, but this line has been continuing to do good work. The David Krejci line on the ice. Chara with the tippable shot, and McGinley gets a piece, and Krejci mixes it up with Mike Weaver. Lucic says, "You want to go?" My, that calms things down.
Yeah, it looked like Jerome McGinley is the guy that tips this puck on a little wrist shot by Chara from the point. Chara moving laterally, looking for a lane. Is your tip by McGinley. Not sure if Krejci gets a piece of it as well.
Bjugstad and Krejci on the faceoff. Lucic, the shot goes over the bar and sits on the roof of the goal. They cannot buy a break. Lucic's shot explodes through Clemenson, but it won't drop underneath the crossbar.
Another face-off win. This one clean by David Krejci. Little screen by McGinley as he moves. Because that puck's dropped, he can slide into that circle. That allows Lucic to lane to the net.
The one-timer from Chara cracks off the glass. Hamilton sends the backhand forward. Here's Krejci pivoting out of the slot. Chara indirect and high for Lucic, but he handles it nicely. Chara juggles the puck. It lands in front of Lucic. He A-frames around. Huberdeau goes through the seam to Hamilton. Hamilton's wrist shot knocked out of the pile in front with McGinley and Krejci jamming. And here's another good shift from the Krejci line. Krejci's drive scores! David Krejci from the point. Lots of traffic in front. No Novocaine, doctor. Pull that tooth, and it's 1-0 Bruins.
3 consecutive face-off wins in the offensive zone by David Krejci. They led to 3 scoring chances, with the last one cashing in. Nice read by Dougie Hamilton to attack that puck. The support by David Krejci. He slid a pass across for Chara, but Chara wasn't ready or positioned for the one-timer. It was a little premature, but a heads-up play by Chara to go right back to Krejci for the one-timer. Both McGinley and Lucic working the front of the net, double-barrel action. Clemenson not able to really track that puck well, and that puck catches the inside of that near post.
So, Brick, put us on the bench now. If you're the Bergeron line and you just saw that effort from the Krejci line, how do you try to follow?
Well, you're going over the boards and you're telling your wingers, hey, let's do our job. It's time for us to step up. These guys have been carrying us. We're in a homestand. We got to win. I know it's a long way to the face-off, maybe about 50, 60 feet, but you can get those words in. And you make eye contact if you haven't already had that conversation on the bench, but as you're making your way to center ice, it's our turn. Our turn to do our job.
Boychuk, the 100-foot pass to Marchand. He goes down in contact with Gilbert. Really wasn't hooking. It was stick on stick, and then Marchand lost his balance. Now here's Brian Campbell. Dumps it off the boards in behind Rask. Boychuk is there unopposed. The long pass up the middle of Marchand. Goes right over the spoke B. Here's Bergeron's shot. Kicked out. Juicy rebound.
Boston goal scorer by
Erickson
number
can't get to it before
46,
first team.
David
Marchand and
Krejci.
Erickson battling for the puck. Here's Erickson. It's off Upshaw. Erickson keeps moving. Gets the puck back to the point to Seidenberg around it. Marchand back of the goal. It trickles out to Versteeg of Florida. Erickson across the zone. Hello, Brad. There's Marchand, and he dumps it down into the corner. Here's Erickson in front. The shot from Kelly, and it trickles wide.
At 7:17.
Versteeg off the dasher, and it rolls down into the Boston zone. Upshaw stick pinwheels all the way through the Boston slot. Kelly out of the right to Riley Smith. The Soderberg, the bomb gets deflected by Gomez up and out of play. Back-to-back solid shifts for the Bruins.
Well, Brett Marchand was actually doing the right thing, Jack. He's a little spent. You make your changes in the offensive zone, but it's a good follow-up shift. And Marchand actually stayed on the ice and kept the play alive. But a good breakout. Marchand taking that pass. About a 50-footer on the breakout. He was wide open in the middle of the ice. Moved the puck to Bergeron wide. Then attack. That's real good pressure, real good rotation. 5-man attack, but responsible 5-man attack with that third man rotating back through the middle.
Bruins are 6th in the league in second period goal differential, and Florida is number 27. Shots on goal in the second period are 8-1 Boston. Scott Gomez going around Torrey Krug. Gomez on Rask, who holds the near post.
Subtle little move by Gomez. Dropped that right shoulder. He was going to cut to the middle, and it froze Krug kind of standing up to make contact, but Gomez stayed to the outside.
33 years old, but still pretty quick.
Well, he's crafty. I don't know how quick he is, because once he got to the outside, he still couldn't get to the net.
Daniel Paille holds his ground again. This time can't connect with Thornton. Barch on the right wing tries to trickle it through to Gomez. McQuaid on the way down hacks it over to Thornton. He clears. Kulikov, a very good skater, brings it back to Weaver. Weaver with a little shift. Kulikov goes north and south. McQuaid stands up Gotch, and Thornton goes cross corner. Weaver. Kulikov getting double teamed. Leaks it through to Gotch. Hamilton gloves the puck down and sends it spinning to the corner. Just past the 10-minute mark of the second period, Kulikov gives ahead to Gotch. He puts the shift on Hamilton, closes, sends it off Fleischmann's stick. Lucic can't one-handed past Weaver. The puck bounces to the boards. Mathias strokes the backhand down for Gotch. Chara wraps him up. Gregory Campbell over to Hamilton. Bounces it through the corner. Iginla brings it out. And Weaver ramps it back in. Get a delayed offside called here against Florida. 9:33 to go, second period. The Bruins exciting rewind coming up just 30 seconds away. David Krejci on his third of the year has the Bruins in front.
The Berkshire Bank exciting rewind. Let's rewind it back to the first period. Of course, it's the David Krejci line. It's a nice rotation defensively in the neutral zone. They're in a 1-2-2. David Krejci, the initial forechecker. When the puck gets moved D to D, the Bruins in a rotation. Iginla's able to take away the middle of the ice. Krejci comes back with stick position. They turn the puck over, and then the magic happens in the offensive zone. David Krejci, the engineer, keeps play alive. You got the active defense with Dougie Hamilton showing his mobility. But it all starts back in the neutral zone and then turning defense into offense. David Krejci, initially. Iginla through the middle, takes away Upshaw. Iginla, and when he takes away the center ice, Krejci's job is to get back and fill that lane on the right side. He does it beautifully with stick position, able to knock it down and stop on the puck. Don't go for a big skate. Now you got Lucic on the net drive. And even though Krejci doesn't get the shot that he wants because Iginla's caught from behind, no 3-on-2, but David Krejci's ability to sort it out, calm things down, and maintain possession. That subtle little play, push the puck towards the boards. That means it's away from the Panthers, and I'm going to hang on to it, and he's able to use the points. And then Dougie Hamilton rotates down offensively below the dot. Where does Lucic go? Back to the point to protect. And it sets up Seidenberg, who doesn't stay wide on the left side. He moves to the middle of that offensive blue line. Now you have a back diagonal. And what does Dougie Hamilton do? Because he's got the green light, he goes to the net and gets a redirect. Bruins were looking for more of that from their defense, and they're getting it.
Love that. Campbell. The shot bounces off Boychuk to the corner. Jesse Winchester tries to center. Krejci blocks it. Winchester keeps his balance, whips it on Rask, and very nearly gets his second weird one in 2 games against the Bruins. But Jesse Winchester is about 90% hustle.
Yeah, these are the types of goals that a guy like Jesse Winchester will score. Just hard work, stay with it on the forecheck. He's able to get a little separation, toe pick by Krejci. It's a bad angle shot, but if you have no play, put it on goal.
That's not to diminish the obvious abilities. Anybody who gets a job in the National Hockey League is a really, really good athlete, but Winchester's greatest attribute is his willingness to throw himself in harm's way. Really not known as a dirty player. He's a very aggressive player, and the elbow that he hit Kelly with was uncharacteristic. And it's fortunate that Kelly wasn't injured on the play. Boychuk Bounces it past Seidenberg. Krejci redirects to center. And it's right back in the Boston zone.
Oh, what a perfect time, Jack, for me to hear you say Bruins have the lead and now they extend the lead.
Here's Iginla on the off wing. The snapshot goes wide on the glove side. Krejci spins it back to Lucic. Tip to slow it down, and then Campbell takes it out of the front. Winchester has a broken stick. Can the Bruins capitalize with the long change? No. Brian Campbell skates it all the way to the Boston zone. Jonathan Huberdeau spoons it through, and Rask makes the poke check, taking it away from Brian Campbell. As Nick Bjugstad turns and fires, and Rask barely gets the blocker on it to knock it past the post. Krejci trickles it out to center. Kolyikov. Now for Stieg. Gives it back to Barkov. The rookie can't pivot past Eriksson. Rask stops the puck and again boards for Krug. Off the stick of Versteeg. Upshaw. It slides on edge all the way to the corner. Eriksson to Bergeron, who was nearby for an available pass. Here's Marchand. Marchand hits the brakes. Bergeron setting up in front. McQuaid holds, lifts it toward goal. Bergeron going for the tip but couldn't redirect. Krug, the defenseman, all the way down in the corner. Versteeg picks the puck out of the slot. Barkov gets stood up on McQuaid's check, but Kolyikov emerges with the puck.
Nice play by Marchand, taking that puck wide, driving that defenseman off. He got deep enough that he could pull up and hit McQuaid coming late.
Eriksson flattens the puck and nudges it over to Bergeron. He hammers it off the boards and in behind Clemenson. The Bruins change out. Goodbranson lugs it up past his own blue line, hard off the glass, and that's going to be icing against Florida. Toyota Game Breakers, Dale Arnold.
Thanks, Jack. Montreal visiting Ottawa. Under 10 minutes left in the first. Ottawa offensive zone. Clark MacArthur finds Bobby Ryan in the high slot. He beats Carey Price for his 9th of the year. Ottawa ties the game 1-1. That's where we are in the second period, Jack.
Thanks, Dale. Ottawa coming into tonight 5-6-4 for 14 points, currently in 6th in the 8-team Atlantic Division stack. The Bruins are in 4th place. As usual, with the game in hand on everybody except first place Tampa Bay.
Well, we get Ottawa a little bit later in the month, and kind of anxious to see that club. Bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team this year, but Bobby Ryan. Anaheim couldn't keep the big three. They had to lose one of them, and he's an impressive goal scorer.
Yep, after Getzlaf and Perry got the huge payouts, somebody had to go, and Ryan was the odd man out. Dougie Hamilton has to go back to retrieve the bounce. Sean Mathias has a lot of speed in the approach. Chara softly through the seam to Gregory Campbell. Riley Smith backhands it indirected. It's too far forward for Campbell. Goodbranson to Gilroy, and out of the zone Gotch, but he turns it over to Hamilton. Hamilton fans as the puck bounces. Now here's Mathias with more pressure. Hamilton around the end boards to Chara. He whacks it out to center. 6.5 minutes to go in the second. Bruins seldom have had consecutive impressive shifts in this game. Johnny Boychuk stops the forward pass. Kopecky picks it up. It was a long delayed offside, but it was offside. Tempers simmer a little bit, but I don't see a rolling boil. Atlantic Division standings, Brick.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's surprised, but Tampa with 10 wins along with Toronto. Pretty impressive what the Lightning have been able to do. Although the Bruins have handled them twice already this year, you expected Detroit to win a few more than they lose. That's typical of them. So they will battle for a top 3 position. Boston, of course, in a little bit of funk right now. They were 7-2 at one time, the Bruins. Canadians hovering around 500, and then Ottawa, Florida, Buffalo rounded out. But Tampa and Toronto, impressive starts.
Well, here we go. Chris Barch and Sean Thornton. Old combatants. You may remember when Barch was with the Dallas Stars. Thornton lands one. Tries to go over him and then under and over. And Barch is leaking. Thornton to the body. Barch trying to get inside. Thornton trying to rip the helmet off. Turns and shoves Barch into the boards, and now they just have at it. Thornton really taking it out on him. Barch trying to land a shot. Thornton caught the helmet. They're a little arm weary. And they get separated. 100 times in his career now, Chris Bartsch has dropped him.
Well, after that little gathering around the Bruins net, right in the crease area with Tuukka Rask, Bartsch was right in the middle of it. It wasn't the time because it was too late after the whistle to allow anything to get going. But Thornton and Bartsch pick up right after the puck drop. Two bouts tonight for the Merlot line.
Well, there's some chatter in the corridor outside the Bruins dressing room early this evening, about 60 good minutes, and Thornton said, I know where I'm going to spend 5 of it. As usual, true to his word. Never fails.
Florida penalty number
David Krejci with the long reach to control the puck. Here's Iginla taking it wide, and Lucic on the diagonal. Lucic right in the seam, taps it all the way to the corner. Gilbert, the defenseman there. Lucic lets the puck slip away. Krejci with a perfect read brings it back to Seidenberg. Does a wrist shot, goes off the legs of Brian Campbell. Seidenberg pinches down, but Winchester gets the puck out of the zone. No icing as Boychuk goes back to retrieve.
A couple of real nice plays there, right, by David Krejci. Defensively, positions well. Little chip pass to Iginla. And then he's in position to make the steal in the offensive zone.
In his peripheral vision, Krejci barely saw Brian Campbell and was able to get the leg out of the way. Lucic snaps it on Clemenson, who coughs it up all the way past the faceoff dot. Seidenberg gloves down the clearing attempt. Wraps it around the boards. Now it's Boychuk at the hash marks past Krejci, who's locked up with Gilbert. Winchester into the middle of his own zone to Bjugstad. Now Huberdeau tries to curl and drag on Iginla. It hits Iginla's skates. Versteeg out near the blue line. Bergeron one side then the other and chops it back to center.
Now that's awareness right there by Bergeron. He knows his team's on a line change. Got tired bodies on the ice.
Versteeg and a leg save by Rask. Versteeg got a lot on that one. Here's Weaver with this steal. Bergeron caught a stick upstairs in the face.
I think it was the puck.
Well, on they go. The referee's not making any movement toward a signal, so I'm going with you on that one, Brick.
Risky business.
Boychuk here. Bergeron's going to the bench for repairs. Here's Marchand trying to go through the legs of Weaver. Kelly's shot gets deflected to the end boards. Marchand gets the shoulder and maybe the elbow up on Kolyakov. Krug fires it right into Kolyakov's face. Well, it's getting dangerous out there, and a lot of accidents happening in succession. And a couple of on purposes as well. Adam McQuaid up the middle of the ice. Powers it through both corners. Branson runs into Kelly. The puck right up the slot. Here's McQuaid. He took it outside the line. The Bruins will have to clear the zone. And they do. Bergeron's gone down the tunnel for a little bit of handiwork. Chara and Gotch on the end boards along with Gregory Campbell. But here's the drive from Gilroy and a save by Tuukka Rask. Rask with the full extension.
A little slow to get up.
Yeah.
Almost that stretch. Yeah, big groin stretch right there in order to get that. Flashing that left pad on the hard drive from the left point by Gilroy.
Gregory Campbell in pursuit of the puck. Sean Mathias back. One hands it over to Goodbranson. Chara can't keep the puck in the attacking zone. Dougie Hemplin back, and he wins the race to the dot, which makes it icing.
The TD Bank Community Clubhouse and the Boston Bruins would like to welcome the Walpole Volunteers to tonight's game. At TD Bank, we're committed to supporting the communities we serve by making a difference together.
If you just joined us through the bottom of the hour, alongside Andy Brickley with Jamie Erdahl at ice level, and our Nesson production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. The Bruins lead the Florida Panthers 1-0 late second period. Bruins a little bit inconsistent again tonight. Unable to string together many consecutive good shifts. The Krejci line, as usual, has been shining. Campbell nudges the puck away, but Gilroy is there. Chara pinches down the boards to keep Fleischmann from clearing the zone. Good Branson back of the goal, has a little trouble with it. Paille and Gregory Campbell on it. And Gomez picks Campbell's pocket.
Now, if Campbell could have got around the back of that net, he had Iginla wide open to the slot.
Chara on a bouncing puck just leaves it at the blue line with Fleischmann tying him up. Hamilton returns it to the Boston captain. Chara a little bit of wiggle around Huberdeau. He rushes the puck over the blue line. Here's Paille in front, right through the goal mouth. And nobody could tip it in as Chara and Krejci went to the net.
Chara got a piece of it, but his angle was just off that far post.
Johnny Boychuk taps the backhand to Krejci. Krejci in front looking for Eriksson, but a deflection off Gilbert's stick. And here's Gilbert. The return to Huberdeau. Huberdeau drops off to Kopecky. Kopecky to Huberdeau. The wraparound, and Rask makes a stretch with the left skate to stop the wraparound attempt. Huberdeau cross ice Kopecky, and Rask is square to the shot, going post to post. Tuukka Rask suddenly busy in the late second period. A little bit of concern for Tuukka Rask as earlier he made that long stretch on the split save. And just moments ago, getting the skate blade on the wraparound attempt.
We haven't seen Tim Thomas in the building tonight just yet, but this morning we got a look at Thomas's new goalie equipment designs with the Panthers. Coach Julian was asked whether the Bruins would have won the 2011 Stanley Cup without the play of Thomas. Julian said that while Thomas won the Conn Smythe Trophy with great play, Jack, that's also a reflection of how well the team played in front of Thomas during that run.
No doubt, Jamie. He was the most valuable player on a team of players that were completely focused. Chris Kelly wobbling the puck, and Campbell blows an edge down in the corner. Here's Kelly and Smith forward to the goal line. But Versteeg takes the puck, turns and just wheels it out of the zone, goes after his self-pass. No, that's Upshaw on the sprint. Upshaw bangs Seidenberg. Now Boychuk winding it out of the Boston zone. Seidenberg. Brian Campbell into the corner in the final minute of the second period. Zdeno Chara drives the puck through the corner. Since Boston's goal, the shots have been 8-2 for Florida. And Brick, the Bruins trying to string together good shift after good shift. I don't know if complacency is an accurate word, although some have used it. Here's Fleischmann coming on the off wing. But when an opponent raises its compete level, the Bruins have been unable to go higher. Chara steps into one, knocked out in front, and it trickles past the post.
Well, the Bruins have been in search for a number of things. We talk about team identity, and part of that is consistency. That was one area, again, the Bruins wanted to improve on. We talked about, as far as the X's and O's, that transition game, the quickness on the back end. They wanted more consistency in their game. They wanted a better power play. And there's still a work in progress, basically in all three. I think if they get more of one thing, it's that active mobile D. Now they got to work on the other two elements of their game. A better skating period by Boston, though, in period number 2.
Well, Dale, after an 8-1 shots advantage to open the period, it ends up 9-9 in shots on goal in the middle 20 minutes. Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Amica Insurance, by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com, by the Massachusetts Health Connector, by your New England Audi dealers, and by Kettle One Vodka. Alongside Andy Brickley with Jamie Erdahl at ice level and our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. Bruins holding a slim 1-0 lead on Florida heading into the third period. Now let's fly to the bench for the interview, brought to you by Cape Air, your wings to 45 cities throughout the Northeast, Midwest, and the Caribbean. Book your tickets at capeair.com now. Andy Brickley moments ago with Bruins assistant coach Doug Jarvis.
Doug, I had a chance to talk to Brad Marchand at the end of the first period. He said, a couple quality penalty kills, but a slow start. Did you like the pace of your team in the second period as opposed to the first?
Yeah, I did, Andy. I thought our pace was better. I thought our passing was better, which obviously picks your pace up, and we were able then to really, our breakouts were cleaner. We got through the neutral zone and then was able to get into their end a little more efficiently.
So many one-goal games across the league year in and year out. It's the same this year. You're in a one-goal game again tonight. So special teams take on extra meaning. The penalty killing now, I think you've killed 13 straight. What adjustments have you made when there was, some issues going on with the PK earlier?
Well, really, we had the real poor game against New Jersey. Apart from that, I think it's actually been pretty consistent. And I think, again, after that New Jersey game, we had to dig in and build our consistency back into our penalty killing, which they've been doing.
You had a one-goal lead late against Dallas. Do you think the team has learned now with a 1-0 lead going into the third what they need to do not only to protect the lead but to extend the lead? Yeah,
I think we got to keep reminding ourselves that we need to continue to be aggressive with our game. We certainly don't want to sit back. We want to take the play to Florida and hopefully spend the bulk of the period in their end.
Well, thanks, Doug. Good luck in the third.
Thanks, Andy.
Patrice Bergeron back on the ice to begin the third period after having gotten sutured together, we would imagine, with the errant puck flipping up in his face. And here's Bergeron cracking it toward the middle. The game summary brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Brian Campbell, the long diagonal trickles all the way through to Fleischmann, chops in the middle looking for Gotch, but it comes off his stick. Boychuk, the hard pass, does not connect behind Marchand, and in front of Brian Campbell, it's going to go for icing.
Kind of a cagey move by Campbell.
Like he could have gotten it.
Yeah, pretended, I don't see this going by me. I'm going to look left when the puck's to my right. Gets away with it. Sells the icing call. Face off in the offensive zone for the Panthers.
Bergeron and Barkov. Upshaw on the boards. Rams it down to the corner. It's Bergeron to Chara under pressure from Barkov. Backs it to Boychuk. Cross ice through Marchand. Barkov slides the puck in on Rask. Chara, the stop and start. Bergeron returns it to the captain. Now out to Johnny Boychuk. Back to Bergeron in the seam. A little too far forward for where Eriksson wanted it. Bergeron takes it off. Clemenson's stick tries the wraparound. Clemenson holds the post. Upshaw sprints out to the right side. The Bruins in the middle of a change. Seidenberg back on that side. Upshaw cross ice looking for Versteeg. Too hot to handle. Dougie Hamilton was in his face. Lucic tries to barrel through Gilroy, and the puck pops all the way to Eriksson in the neutral zone. Seidenberg carefully back to Hamilton in front of the penalty bench to Lucic. He absorbs the bump from Gilroy and gets it in deep. Good Branson on the puck with Krejci chasing. Winchester can't get it through Seidenberg. Hamilton, Seidenberg. Up the middle, Lucic attempting to redirect, but Winchester breaks that rush down. Winchester slugs it back out to center. Krejci strokes it off the boards to Seidenberg. Let's go Bruins, the chant from the crowd here at TD Garden. Krejci turns it over to Bjugstad. Nick Bjugstad closes and Rask makes the save.
Well, with the Bergeron line, the Bruins made 5 or 6 passes, worked the puck beautifully up the ice, just like Doug Jarvis was saying. The passing was far more accurate in period number 2, along with their pace. David Krejci felt that he had separation from Bjugstad on the back check, but he underestimated Bjugstad with the steal, and he gets enough on the shot to, I guess you'd qualify that as a scoring chance, even though Rask handled it easily, bothered just enough by Hamilton.
Bjugstad, 6'4", 188. Weighs 188 pounds, and he's going to put some on in the next couple of years. Just 21 years old. Yet another out of the University of Minnesota. Let's go Bruins, the chant from the crowd again, as the Bruins try to string together some consecutive good shifts. Soderberg to Kelly, deflects the puck in deep. Tom Gilbert to Scott Gomez. Soderberg taking a chop at him. Versteeg shifts around Soderberg, wiggles out to the neutral zone. Chara tries to go D to D. Versteeg deflects it right on the alert Tuukka Rask.
Well, instead of using the backhand to go D to D, Chara tries to pivot, make a forehand pass. And just that little bit of move right there allows Versteeg to get his stick in the passing lane. It ends up being a shot on goal.
In the last 5 games in which the Bruins have gone 1-3-1, Chara's ice time has been more than 2.5 minutes higher per game than it was going into that 5-game stretch. Now, granted, there was a Johnny Boychuk injury. There were 2 overtime games. He plays a lot in those situations. But Chara has not been as effective in this 5-game stretch as he had been in the 7-2 start. Campbell off the corner boards. Good Branson to the dot to Versteeg. Paille harassing him, but Versteeg fights through the check. Here's Versteeg working Chara's side of the ice. The pass behind the rush. Upshaw turns and sees Paille in his grill. Boychuk off the skates of Thornton. Gets the puck to Campbell. Gregory Campbell working against Gilroy. Thornton's drive goes through the screen and past the stick side post. Chara forward to the goal line to Paille. Paille quickly turns right across the goal mouth to Thornton, but he couldn't rattle it home. Paille back to Hamilton. Hamilton to Paille on the half boards. Paille stick handles against Gilroy. Comes diagonally back to Chara. He loads up the drive, and Clemenson on the way down makes the reach up.
The Bruins, Loon Mountain, and 98.5 The Sports Hub have teamed up this season to bring you the Skate and Ski Package. Purchase a seat to select Bruins games in November, December, and January, and receive a complimentary lift ticket to Loon Mountain. For information, visit bostonbruins.com/skate and ski.
It's time, you know. I mean, it's that time. Every few mornings, you see a little dusting of white up in the peaks.
Shredded my first rad at Loon Mountain.
And it's never been the same.
Neither have I.
Not too much more fun than being outside in the wintertime, though. Kolyakov in the corner with Eriksson coming from one side and Marchand the other. Here's Eriksson's pursuit against Weaver. And now Marchand goes to work on the kick plate. Scoots it away from Gotch. Hamilton into Marchand skates. Back to Bergeron on the tap. Back to Marchand. Marchand tries to pivot and stop and start on Kolyakov. He finds a little space to Bergeron. Seidenberg's drive. And Marchand scores. Brad Marchand with his first goal in a 13-game span. A drought equaling the longest since his rookie year.
Jack, you pointed out that this line had 13 shots on goal last game against Dallas. And the confidence is starting to come for Brad Marchand, and you want to see a perfect example of it? This shift and that play out by the blue line. The confidence to make a little stutter step move, fake like you're going to cut back over the left shoulder, and then spin away to get space, deliver a pass, and then complete your route to the net. Heads up, little touch pass out high. Bergeron to Seidenberg. Seidenberg's good high drive. It breaks through Clemenson, and there's Marchand able to tap it in. Awesome shift by that line, Marchand in particular.
Lucic, here's a Gilmour with the hard wrist shot. Man, can he load it up. Marchand, second of the year.
Dougie Hamilton pitched down the right side. He continued to stay offensively. When he pulls back out, that allows Marchand, who had made that big play out by the blue line, to get closer to the net in the rotation, the 5-man rotation. Nice to see that line. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast. More balanced scoring, more offensive production from the second line in particular, and then get a lead and extend the lead.
Krejci trickles it back to Torrey Krug to Ginla looking for Lucic in front off Brian Campbell's skate. There's Huberdeau. McQuaid limits his space. Huberdeau gets the puck out to center. Scott Gomez. It's offside.
By number 63, Brad Marchand.
Just so many things to like about that shift. Everybody involved. You know, when people say, you know, who do you point to in terms of individuals to get the Bruins going to play their style? Everybody knows the Krejci line's been pretty productive. Everybody's talking a little bit about the young defensemen and their mobility and the change that the Bruins are trying to undergo on the blue line as far as getting more transition, more speed. And then you look to Bergeron because he's your guy. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league. A guy that will probably play on the Olympic team. 3 zones, and he's a good offensive guy. That second line needs to score, and Marchand became the guy everybody wanted to talk about.
Krejci finds Lucic after Lucic won a puck battle on the boards. McGinley goes back, hustling to win the puck. Lucic leaves it on the blue line. Chara stick handling into Upshaw, and Upshaw loses his stick, but the Bruins have to regroup. Changing on the fly, Iginla scoops the puck forward. Chara on that side. Kelly waiting back of the goal. Kelly wrists it around, back up toward the hash marks. Upshaw and Boychuk there as the defenseman pinches down. Boychuk seals off Upshaw. Kelly's pass too far for Soderberg, and here comes Versteeg with some quick strides, but he blows an edge. Soderberg ahead for Smith, and Brian Campbell roves back and picks it off.
A real good idea by Soderberg. First of all, well positioned in the offensive zone to be in a defensive posture, and a good idea to lay it out to Smith.
Nick Bjugstad turns it over. Smith to Kelly to Soderberg, backs up right across the goal mouth. Krug turns and fires, and it goes off of Gilbert to the end boards. Smith goes in, pivoting around, keeping the puck alive. Krug, the defenseman, down in the corner. Huberdeau takes the feed. Bjugstad one-hands it to the near side wall. And now Gilbert finds some room to rush it out to center. Huberdeau on the goal against McQuaid. He pokes the puck loose to the corner. Spins around with Huberdeau. Gregory Campbell takes a whack at the puck. Winchester jamming back of the goal. Huberdeau gets back up. The centering pass for Gotch, but he couldn't get the shot off.
Yeah, good layers again. Both Smith and Soderberg sagging back to that slot area, knowing that it was vacant because there were 3 Bruins behind the goal line.
Gotch 1-on-4, and he's not going to win that battle. Paille gets it to the wall, gets help from Thornton, and then gets the puck out to center. Swings it to the right to Gregory Campbell, and Paille jumps the line offside. 13:10 to go in the game. Brad Marchand second gives the Bruins a 2-goal lead. All time, they're 189, 8 and 15, a point percentage of .927 when leading by 2 at any point.
We sent Billy back to the studios to get ready for the Instigators after the game. Barry and I will be right here for Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live.
We'll also preview the Bruins' next opponent, the red-hot Toronto Maple Leafs.
All the highlights right here after the game. Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live.
And here's the monkey coming off Marchand's back. Splat. Good for him. 12 straight without a goal. And into the third period of the 13th. Tim Thomas up on the 9th floor, the broadcast level. Some speculation that perhaps he tried to come back a little bit too soon from the groin injury to play against the Bruins. Lasted 3 games, went back on the injured list. Dries Bergeron wins the faceoff. It wobbles past Marchand. Out at center, here's Mathias going all the way through, and he just misses. That's classic Sean Mathias. His work rate is just tremendous, and he's got excellent speed. Once he gets it going, he can really motor.
Yeah, he's able to split right down the middle between Seidenberg and Hamilton. Aggressive read by Rask to come out.
Weaver pivots the puck. Fleischmann on the backhand looking for Mathias middle. Too many layers. The Bruins starting to look like the Bruins again. Here's Marchand, but Gotch gets in the way, and it rattles all the way to Mathias. The drive off Chara's stick goes high and wide.
You got to change the game plan a little slightly. You heard Doug Jarvis talk about being aggressive. Let's spend the...
Oh!
That's a bad call.
Oh my goodness, that was hybrid icing without the puck ever crossing the goal line.
Well, I've already taken a shot at these guys. I'm going to pass on that one and finish my thought on...
Center ice drop, center dot drop.
Yeah, well, that's the right call after the mistaken call. But Brad Marchand had that puck coming through the neutral zone, Jack, and I said, this is where you're going to change your thought process ever so slightly. As much as you want to try to make a play right there, you now have a 2-goal lead, and you're closing in on the 12-minute mark. Make sure that puck continues to go into the offensive zone. It doesn't have to be a take-to-take pass. Force Florida to have to turn, pivot, and make a play under duress by keeping that puck going forward. But Marchand's feeling it now. He's getting that confidence back. He wanted to make a play, but the right play was to keep it moving forward.
It's amazing to watch these players work on their skills day in, day out, hour after hour, but so much of the game is where their head is. Or where their heads are. Is that the proper grammar? I'll work on that. Iginla turns. Brian Campbell gets in the way, but Iginla gets it through to Krejci to Lucic, drawing it wide against Gilbert. The shot and a blocker save by Clemenson. Lucic using his speed and power to get separation on Gilbert, and he got a lot on that shot.
And it's a right decision. He knew he was all by himself. You know, he had the play all in front of him because he's on the left side of the ice coming through the middle, and he knows his line. He's a back behind him. Sees Krejci making that pass. He's standing still on the back end. So what he tries to do is generate speed, but keep enough separation by moving laterally and move to the forehand side to get a shot on. And it was a bullet.
Riley Smith hustles to get to the puck. 2 men in the slot. Krug and also Soderberg. But neither one could get to it or call the other off. Soderberg wins a puck battle. Smith tries to curl and drag around Gomez. Kelly with pursuit of the puck. Here's the drive. Soderberg and a save by Clemenson. The Bruins starting to buzz in Florida's end. Now Thomas Kopecky. Gomez snaps it all the way around. This is the first game of the stretch of 8 out of 9 on the road for Florida, which is just 1-4-1 away from home. Here comes Kelly. He's got Soderberg, middle of the trailer. Krug, the shot, scores! Torrey Krug! The Bruins are finally stringing together shifts, and they lead 3-0.
High marks to Riley Smith on this play along the near boards. He's playing the off wing with Soderberg playing the left side. And he uses that nice little soft indirect pass. Able to pick up that loose puck. He doesn't force it, doesn't try to go wing to wing to Soderberg. He just lays that puck indirect behind the Florida Panther defense, allows Kelly to skate into it, and that allows time for Soderberg to drive off that far post and curl to the other side of the net, and that opens up a lane for Torrey Krug, who just explodes on that weak side with the play in front of him, and he doesn't get there too early. He gets there with timing, with speed, and he risks a beautiful shot, high glove side finish.
Torrey Krug is tied with Erik Karlsson with the most goals by an NHL defenseman with 6.
Boston goal scored by number 47, Torrey Krug.
Seidenberg taps over to Dougie Hamilton. Up to the blue line to Thornton. Back to Seidenberg and hops over his stick, but he finds it away from Winchester. And now it's Thornton. Hoists it in the air, and it bounces down on edge. Kolyakov chops at it. Gregory Campbell in the corner. Weaver, the short pass. Bjugstad cross ice, but it hops on Dmitry Kolyakov. Chris Kelly and Riley Smith the assists on Torrey Krug's 6th of the season. At 8:57 of the third period, and the Bruins have pulled away from the Florida Panthers.
Sounds like a goal from 3 different lines, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Upshaw's shot. Boychuk with the block, took it right off the boot of the skate. Chara with the long reach to get it out of the defensive slot. Here's Marchand working up the wing. Upshaw and Bergeron wins another puck battle and sends it in deep.
Just chuckling to myself. That was Marchand coming up the ice. He wasn't going to try to make a play that time. He was chipping it in.
Elbowing penalty coming against Boston. 9:21 to go in the game. A must-score power play for Florida coming up. Torrey Krug has a half dozen already. It's 3-0 Boston. TV timeout. A special tribute on the HDX center ice scoreboard and on the PA system. And a standing ovation for the 2011 Conn Smythe Trophy winner and the 2-time Vezina Trophy winner Tim Thomas, now of the Florida Panthers. Warm reception, and I didn't hear any boos. And it's fitting. What he did for the Bruins never should be forgotten.
Boston penalty number 63, Brad Marchand, 2 minutes elbow.
Wasn't the most graceful exit.
Time of the penalty, 10 minutes, 39 seconds.
Florida on the power play.
At 10:39.
Has scored just 5 power play goals this season, ranked 30th and last in the National Hockey League. Brian Campbell holding the puck with Dmitry Kolyakov back at the point. The long diagonal pass. The drive from Gotch and a save by Rask. Marchand is in the box for elbowing.
A little aggressive on the forward check. Again, playing along the edge is what Marchand likes to do. Will follow through with the elbow on Campbell. They had a spirited discussion, as a matter of fact, on his way to the penalty box.
Well, if Marchand isn't getting barked at, he's probably not playing the way he's supposed to play. Fleischmann down to the half boards, banks it back to Kolyakov. He winds and drives. It's off a stick in the slot. Gotch trying to get it to Brian Campbell. Chara gets the puck past the blue line. Brian Campbell turns it up ice, skates right over the spoke B. Whips it into space on the right side. Huberdeau and Chara there. Chara wins the puck battle, turns it away from Gomez, squirts it into the corner to Paille, and he strokes the puck back to center.
A pretty good effort right there by Chara. Not an easy play when you're that tall with that length of a stick to handle the puck in tight, be able to spin off people, and then make a chip pass up the wall.
Campbell gains the line. Bergeron knocks the airborne pass out of the air. Gomez to Gilroy, the one-timer well wide. Brian Campbell on the near side whips it cross ice, but it skitters past Gomez. Gomez controls, flattens the puck, holds it away from McQuaid. Gilroy to Campbell. Brian Campbell closes, brings it back to Gilroy. Versteeg rotating, but Bergeron gets a stick on the puck to knock it back to center. Final 15 seconds of the power play here. Chris Versteeg stick handling through the neutral zone. Gives to Upshall over the line off Krejci's legs. Gilroy's drive. Saved by Rask. The rebound. Versteeg. Too many layers as McQuaid and Seidenberg were there. Rask without his goalie stick, and Scotty Upshall steps on it and then mistakenly on purpose kicks it wide of the goal. McQuaid banks the pass from Marchand, fresh out of the box. Here's a Ginla shot just wide on the stick side. The long rebound to Jesse Winchester. Gomez steers it off the boards and into the Boston zone. Florida gets a full change. The Bruins want to counter here and take it back to the Panthers' end. Krug over the line to Lucic. Lucic drops to Ginla to Krejci. In front, Lucic. It rattles around off Goodbranson and just wide. The Ginla going wide had Goodbranson's attention, and Lucic took care of the business in front. Krug reads the play well. The puck deflects off his stick and into the Florida bench. The Forest trivia question of the day: which goalie has the most wins in Panthers history? Visit NESN.com/theForest for the answer and enter to win a $50 gift certificate that can be used at the Forest Restaurant and Sports Bar in Boston, Quincy, or Norwell. Is it a guy who needs his tires pumped up? Not sure. Goodbranson turns the stick. Thomas Fleischmann. Both Brad Boyes and Sean Bergenheim scratched for tonight's game as Florida is really struggling. 0-3-4 in the Panthers' last 7 games. And we told you about the long stretch on the road coming up. Starting tonight, 8 out of 9. And already in trouble in the standings. Riley Smith to Chris Kelly to Carl Soderberg, the shot. And the Bruins are getting some nice work out of each line.
Saturday night at 6, check out an all-new Big Bad Bruins Live, presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. They'll relive last season's Game 7 comeback against the Maple Leafs. Take a look at this week in Bruins history and much, much more. That's Saturday at 6, only on Netflix.
It's hard for those of us who never played at a high level to say that a team should do something. I'll leave that to you, but it seems this is a game that the Bruins certainly would want to get 2 points out of, considering where they are and where Florida is. Chara controls. He's got Bergeron up the middle. Bergeron with Marchand racing up the left wing. Gives it to Marchand on Gilbert. Marchand right across the goal mouth. Eriksson now trying to catch up to Huberdeau. It's a relay race. End-to-end they go. Bjugstad filling in the middle. Bjugstad shot. Handcuffs Rask up high. And it's off of Winchester and in. Jesse Winchester, 2 games, 2 goals against the Bruins. It's 3-1 with 5.5 to go, and Florida has life.
Yeah, tough luck, I guess, the Bruins right here. But we've seen a number of times tonight where the Bruins have not been able to pick up guys coming late effectively enough, even though they lead this game 3-1. Pretty good effort, though, on that breakout by Boston. Bergeron, Marchand, a little give and go. That just misses. But the gap isn't good enough. Hamilton's too far back because he's allowing Marchand to put pressure on Huberdeau, the puck area. But that gap is a little too deep. And that allows for a quality shot from Bjugstad. And just not close enough in terms of picking up people on the net drive. And Winchester's able to get to the loose puck. There's the puck pressure. And Hamilton's just too far back, and he tries to go in a shot blocking mode. The timing in the gap needs to be a little bit better, a little bit tighter, and not allow for that shot to happen. And now Winchester gets in between Chara and Hamilton. You know, close isn't good enough, as they say. And we've seen a number of times tonight when the Bruins have had breakdowns, Jack, and they played a pretty good game, certainly after the first 10 minutes, and they had to kill a couple penalties in that first period. Play under review, they're going to count the goal.
Yep.
But that's been an area of some concern here tonight. Florida's made some plays from that soft area along the wall on the drive into the zone where people are coming a little bit late, and they're in between the back checking on the weak side and the gap on the defense. And there's been some opportunities for Florida as a result, and they cash in on one of those opportunities after a pretty good offensive rush by Boston.
Coaches often talk about scoring from dirty areas and grimy goals. If you look at the 2 that Jesse Winchester has scored against the Bruins this year, 2 for 2.
He's filthy.
Yep, and beautiful as far as Florida is concerned.
Florida goal scored by number 17, Jesse Winchester.
Chara tries to nudge the puck through the corner. Upshaw rattles it right into the crease, and Boychuk fires a dart off the corner boards, but here's good Branson's shot into traffic. Krejci tries to calm things down. Lucic available close by now. Iginla spoons it off the low glass all the way down into the corner. Lucic steers good Branson into the corner boards. Boychuk and Krejci disrupting the Florida flow. Chara fires one right into Versteeg's face.
Third time tonight somebody's got hit in the face or the head with a puck.
Yeah, caught him in the ear. He wears the visor across his eyes, and the trainer for Florida coming out. I believe that's Dave Zanobi. They'll look at Versteeg. Performance Play brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive today, and the monkey comes off Marchand's back.
Well, with a 1-0 lead for the Bruins in the third period, they wanted to stay aggressive. They wanted to spend a lot of time in the offensive end and keep the pressure on the Panthers, and they were looking for some scoring outside of the Krejci line. They get all of that from Brad Marchand on this shift, disposing of the monkey on the back. Well aware of how important he is to this club and how important it is that he be productive. It was a high-quality shift with some confident playmaking by Brad Marchand and his line mates along with the D. And that gave the Bruins a 2-0 lead at the time.
And if you're wondering why we're pronouncing it that way, it's because a couple of days ago he said that after going back and forth for 4 previous years, he wants everybody to call him Marchand. So there it is. Call him anything he wants as long as he keeps scoring. Here's Brian Campbell's shot, saved by Rask. The Bruins have got to concentrate here and finish this thing off with 4.5 to go. Krejci with Iginla going out in front. Krejci into space. Iginla gallops onto the puck. Brian Campbell whacks it to the sideboards. Lucic there right in front off a skate, and it comes to Matthias. Matthias, couple of quick strides, and he's at top speed, then pulls up at the red line rather, and trickles it into Seidenberg's corner. Seidenberg to Dougie Hamilton. Now the boards for Thornton. He bangs it hard off the wall, but not out of the zone. Huberdeau keeps it in. Hamilton strokes it all the way down, and it goes in on Clemenson. To Branson over to Winchester, the goal scorer. Krug pinches down the boards. Campbell slings it around for Paille. Paille comes out of the corner. Krug's one-timer tipped by Gregory Campbell on the doorstep. Gregory Campbell still looking for his first point of the season, and this Campbell line would like to get on the board. It's the only line without points tonight. Jesse Winchester on the delayed offside, and they'll bring it back to center.
Saturday night at 6:30. Catch up with Dale and Billy when WB Mason presents Bruins Face Off Live. They'll get you ready before the matchup with the Maple Leafs. Feature a tutorial by Adam McQuaid on the art of shot blocking. And then get inside scoop from the Boston Globe's Emily Benjamin. All that and more Saturday at 6:30.
Now, I heard Bob Wilson, the legendary voice of the Bruins, talk about Amelie Oil. For so many years, I had to ask Emily Benjamin if she was named after the oil. She said no. I was bitterly disappointed. Bergeron and Barkov on the faceoff. Chara right up the middle. Bergeron has had another strong game. Here's Marchand in the corner, turns the stick. Marchand on classic Marchand rush. Chara's wrist shot goes off Versteeg and wide. Versteeg returning after getting something that looked like it stung a whole lot administered to his ear during the break. Marchand with room, the wrist shot and a save by Clemenson. Eriksson winning the puck in the corner, banks the pass to Chara. He comes off the wall to change the angle. Bergeron rotating out high to draw Brian Campbell. Slings it around past Marchand and Eriksson. Now here's Boychuk, the other defenseman, past the hash marks. He jams the puck into the boards with less than 3 minutes to go. As long as it's 180 feet from where Florida wants it, it serves the Bruins.
Marchand has that misdirection move that's vintage Marchand going tonight. That little hesitation, misdirection, and he's been able to shake a lot of one-on-one coverage.
Campbell carefully out to the red line. Gotch flattens the puck, turns the backhand just wide on the glove side. Fleischmann going for the tuck, but he couldn't get it forehand to backhand quickly. Kulyakov tosses the backhand past Mathias's reach. McQuaid finishes his check. Riley Smith can't get it out of the zone. McQuaid muscles it to Kelly, who throws a dart to Soderberg's stick. He wheels it in wide of Clemenson. Goodbranson off the end boards. Kulyakov takes the puck. Goodbranson can't control the pass that's coming from behind. Gotch retrieves. Tosses it around for Fleischmann. Soderberg closing. Here's a pick by Smith. The shot scored. Riley Smith makes it 4-1 Boston with $1:47 to go.
Nice rotation on the forecheck. Each forward reading off one another with a third man high and take away the middle of the ice. And even while they try to complete a line change, Kelly being the first one going off, Smith holds his ground out by the blue line. Fleischmann makes a poor decision to try to make a pass, standing still below the goal line through the middle of the defensive zone, and he hands it right to Smith, and I like this back foot snapshot. Well concealed, tough to read for Clemenson, and it's a perfect spot, low to the stick side, about 8 inches off the ice, maybe a little bit higher, breaks off the stick.
So Riley Smith scored with 59 seconds to go the first time these two teams met. Now he scores with 1:47 to go the second time these two teams meet.
Boston goal
2 goals this season, both coming against the Florida Panthers. Matt Gilroy taps the puck down the boards.
Time of the goal, 18 minutes,
Hamilton,
13 seconds.
off the body. Paille.
Second goal of the
Thornton.
season, and unassisted
Huberdeau
goal
goes
for
over
Riley
Thornton's
Smith
stick.
At 18-13.
And we're clicking toward a minute to go.
1 minute
Paille
remaining
breaking
in
with
the
Gregory
period.
Campbell. Paille's shot saved by Clemenson. Paille out of the corner. Thornton throws it on goal. Paille takes it on the backhand, turns away from Weaver to Gregory Campbell, jams at the post, and Clemenson gets the whistle with about 48 seconds left. The save of the game brought to you by Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Brian Campbell uncorks one, and Tuukka Rask grabbing it as Scotty Upshaw flies through with the screen.
That's one of those situations we were just talking about that happened earlier in the game. Players coming late. Bruins unable to pick up. Happened a few times tonight, but Tuukka Rask very calmly with that glove hand. Campbell could fire the puck when it was labeled, and Rask made it look easy.
And Rask keeps his minuscule lifetime goals against average going against Florida. I believe it was 0.99 coming into tonight. So it will stay under 1. McQuaid off the glass. Kolyakov knocks it down in front of the penalty bench. Final 30 seconds. So Brick, put a bow on this one.
Well, the things we were looking for, everybody was looking for, the Bruins organization, their fan base, anybody around this team that's watched this team play, they were looking for a more consistent effort, a more competitive effort, a more balanced effort, and just that determination that you're going to play to your identity. And I think we saw a lot more of that tonight against a Florida team that was ripe to be had. And we talked about them at the top of the broadcast, saying they were going to be hungry for points because they're sliding fast, and it's too early to be out of the playoff picture. So you expected a great effort from the Panthers, but the Bruins are just flat out too good tonight.
2 U's, 2 K's, 2 points, 8 wins for Tuukka Rask. A 2-point night for Riley Smith.